Hello and welcome back to your 12th Java tutorial, intermediate tutorial for, whatever. So today, today we're going to be talking about, multidimensional arrays. So, as you know, an array can be a list of anything. And they can be even a list of arrays, a list of lists. And you can have a list of lists of lists, and a list of lists of lists of lists. And those are multidimensional arrays. So the arrays that you all know and love is a one-dimensional array. An array of arrays is a two-dimensional array. And then an array of arrays, or an array of two-dimensional arrays, is a three-dimensional arrays, and so forth. So let's see how to use those. So tutorial 12, and we're going to call this multi-dimensional arrays. So just for the record, I don't really like multi-dimensional arrays. They're kind of stupid, to be quite honest. But the AAP test, I'm 100% sure that these are going to show up on the AAP test because I talked to a lot of former AP comp sci kids, and they all say it's a lot of multi-dimensional arrays. So you need to understand how it works, and it's kind of an important concept to kind of understand, but again, not very useful. It's good for like tables of data and stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. There's one use for it. So let's go ahead and make our main. Actually, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to go with the example first, and then I'm going to rant a little bit on how stupid these are. Okay, so int array 1D. So this is a one-dimensional array that you all know and love. With the you have the one set of square brackets, and then one set of values. So, 1, 3, 7, and 2. And there you go. This is our one-dimensional array, and you can, get the value, one of the values, just by doing 1D. Let's say we want the second value, we just put 1 there because, 0, 1. And so this prints out 3, right here, 3. Okay? So, alright, so that's pretty simple. We all know that. So let's make a two-dimensional array. So int is an array of arrays. So it's an int array. It's an array of int arrays. So remember, this is an array of int. This is an array of int arrays. So there you go. That's a two-dimensional array right there. And you just add as many as you want. This is a whatever dimensional array. Two-dimensional array. So 2D. And then you could put everything all on one line, but I like, having each set of values on its own line. I think it looks better, to be quite honest. So I'm going to be doing that. So let's just do 43, 634, 423. Alright, and then, put another one. Make sure you put your comma after the set of values, because this is your array inside your array of arrays. So that's that. So 32, 42, 532. Alright, and they can have, variable length if you so please. So, 3, 4, 2, 5, 56. Okay, so now getting the values is different, right? So, if you sys out just, 2D1, this is actually referring to the second array in 2D. It's not referring to any value within the array, it's referring to the entire array. So if we print that out, we just get this, which this is giving us the type. So this is an array of ints at, and then this is the memory address. This is a hexadecimal number. Hexadecimal is it's base 16 when counting. So we count base 10, and then there's, binary base 2, and then this is base 16. So that's what these little things mean. So anyway, so that's what that does. So this is its memory address of this array. So that's not what we want. So let's go ahead and let's try to get a value. So sys out, let's go 2D. Let's go to the second array, and then let's get the first value, and then that's how you do it. So this is row number. So row number 0, 1, this is row 1, column 0, column 0. So this will print out 32. So row, column. When you're dealing with two-dimensional arrays, it's easier to think of them as rows and columns. So row and column, just know it goes, this is the array, and then this is the value of the array. Okay? So let's just print out a new line, because in my example, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a way to print out an array of integers. So we're going to make a private static void print 2D array of ints, and this is going to take in an array, a two-dimensional array. Okay, so then we're going to use that nested for loop. So for int row is equal to 0, row is less than array dot length row plus plus. So again, we're doing for each row, so that's just the array itself is of rows. So we can just do array dot length. One thing that's important to note, I am using row instead of I, and I'm going to use col instead of j. When dealing with specifically 2D arrays or with tables like this, people like saying row and column instead of I and j. I and j is more for like creating a table or something like that, but row and column is good for multi-dimensional arrays. So be aware of the different naming conventions for these variables. Okay, so I'm just gonna do, here we go. Oh, you can even do this. I'm just gonna do normal for, or it didn't let me. Okay, so col equals 0, col is less than, and then so each column is for in each row. So we have to do array and then give it the row that we are currently in the loop. So we're inside a loop, and then we're going to go in here with this row number here. And then we're going to do dot length, because doing this returns a one-dimensional array. Column plus plus. Okay? And then we're going to sys out, and we're actually going to take out the ln. And we're going to do array, row, column, plus, and then we're going to do another escape character. This escape character just adds a tab in the string, so just be aware of that. Again, you can research escape characters. I might do a video on them, but I don't know if they're worth an entire video. So yeah. So then at the end, after the loop, we're just going to print a new line. So it's going to be a line for every single row. So each row has its own line. Okay? So then we can just do print 2D array of ints 2D. Okay? Make sure this is print, not println right here. Okay. So we've got our array right here. So 43, 364, 423, 32, 42, 532, 342, 556. So yeah. So alright. Now for my rant. What I've been told before by let's just say not that smart of a computer scientist, that multidimensional arrays are great for, coordinates, and, say you're doing a three-dimensional object or whatever, you do, say you will have a 2D plane and you have an int, array, right, and then each array this is a coordinate, like 0, 0, 1, 3, whatever, 1, 3, stuff like that. Let's just call this plane. Right, and this is one plane, and each of these arrays are coordinates. So this is, the origin, this is blah blah blah, and you can do, a shape with this kind of. But this is really, really dumb, because you can just make a class called vector2, which is what people do, that holds x and y, and you just and you can actually have, methods that act upon those variables, like the libgdx vector 2, it holds an x and y, and then so this is for one plane. This is one array, and then each of these is just a coordinate on the plane, right? So if you were to have a 3D array, so say you want to add z to the if you wanted to add z, just add z to that like that, and that's fine. You can have a matrix like that, but it's just not efficient. You can't have a class built in with like doing all the calculations and stuff for this. So it's always better to just kind of have a class that holds these variables, especially when doing stuff like a coordinate plane or something like that. So just be aware of that. A lot of people are going to try to tell you that you have to use a multi-dimensional arrays for coordinates. That's not the case. That's not. Maybe for image files and things like that, yes. But like when you're actually doing it like a program or a game, you're gonna want to have like a vector class, not a two-dimensional array. So that's why I don't really like them. They're not really standard, but they exist and they're used a lot in algorithms. So in the AP tests and stuff like that, there's going to be two-dimensional arrays with like algorithms involving them and and things like that. So that's why you need to know them for the AP test. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sorry if this was confusing. You can rewatch this video as many times as you want, or you can leave a comment down in the comment section asking me whatever you're confused about. I'm totally cool with responding to comments. I love doing it. I love hearing from you guys. So yeah, so feel free to comment any questions that you have, and have a nice day. Bye bye.